Hi boys and girls, happy story time. For today's book, we're going to be doing one of my favorite stories to read in the winter, and that is The Mitten. Now we're going to have to pretend a little bit with my props because in the story, they are made of white mittens, and I don't have white mittens. I have ones made of gray and black. And some of the animals may be a little bit different from the story. That's okay. We're just going to use our imagination. All right, without further ado, The Mitten. Once there was a little boy named Nicky who wanted his new mittens made from wool as white as snow. At first, his grandma Baba did not want to knit him white mittens. If you drop one of them in the snow, she warned, you'll never find it. But Nicky wanted the snow white mittens, and finally, Baba made them for him. After she finished, she said, when you come home, first I will check to make sure you are safe and sound, then I will check to make sure you still have your snow white mittens. Well, off Nicky went, and it wasn't long until his new white mitten dropped into the snow and was left behind. Look at, there it is. It's camouflaged in the snow. That means it matches the snow and it's going to be really hard to find. Well, pretty soon a mole spotted the mitten. He was tunneling along, or dinosaur. He was tunneling along and discovered the mitten and decided it looked nice and cozy, and he burrowed inside. Ooh, this looks good to me. And he decided to stay. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, hello. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. Look, my winter coat matches the snow. It was then that he saw the mitten. Oh, that looks nice and cozy. Excuse me. And he decided to wiggle in, feet first. Ow, Mr. Rabbit. Well, the mole didn't think there was any room, but he made some, and he moved on over. Next was the hedgehog. Oh, hello, or a seal. Having spent the day looking under wet leaves and for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten to get himself warm. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled. Excuse me, let me in. Pardon me. Ooh, ow, ow, ooh, ooh, ooh. But they weren't going to argue with an animal that had spikes on them, so they made room. Look at nice and cozy in this mitten. Well, as soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted to the commotion, swooped down. He decided he wanted to move in the mitten too. Well, the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog grumbled, but when they saw his sharp talons, they didn't argue. Excuse me, let me in. Come on in, everybody. I'm coming on in. Owl in. Here we go. Nice, cozy mitten. Thank you. Wow. Up through the snow appeared a badger, or a raccoon. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. There was no room left, but when they saw his sharp diggers, they let him in. Excuse me, everybody, I'm coming on in. So he went into the mitten. Guys, this mitten is getting pretty cozy. It started snowing, but the animals were snug in the mitten. A warm steam rose in the air, and a fox trotted by. He's put his muzzle into the mitten. Oh, excuse me, everybody. And it seemed so cozy he felt drowsy, so he decided to go in and join everybody. While the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth, they let the fox in. Oh, let me in, everybody. Ooh, 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 come on in. Nice cozy mitten here. Okay. Oh, I don't think any more animals can fit. Wait a minute. All of a sudden, a great big bear lumbered by. He put his nose in the mitten, and not being one to be left out in the cold or left alone, he decided to climb on in. The animals were packed as tightly as they could be. Could they even fit the bear? Well, let's see. Let's see if they could fit the bear. Come on in. Oh, Mr. Bear. Because who is going to argue with a bear? I wouldn't argue with a bear. Well, the mitten stretched and stretched. It was pulled and bludged to be twice the size, but Bubba's knitting held very well. Along came a little teeny tiny meadow mouse. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, hello, everybody. I'm just a little mouse, no bigger than the size of an acorn. And he went in the mitten and found the last spot on the bear's nose. Well, the mouse's whiskers started tickling the bear. Tickle, 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 tickle. And the bear went, ah, 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 choo! And all the animals flew out of the mitten, going in directions all over the place. Oh my goodness! Ah! Well, just as that happened, Nicky was trotting by, and the mitten flew into the air. That's all the animals. On his way home, he saw the mitten in the background against the bright blue sky. So now it's not camouflaged anymore. He could see the white mitten against the blue sky. He grabbed the mitten. As he ran to catch it, Bubba faced outside the window. First, she checked to make sure he was safe and sound, then to make sure he had his new mittens. And he did. Ooh. Take a look. Look at the mitten now. I think Bubba's pretty confused on what happens, right? That's a pretty stretched out mitten from all those animals climbing inside. All right, well, I hope you all enjoyed this.